Well, here's another one. Now, this one I kind of highlight because this is one where students make a lot of mistakes. Well, not a lot of mistakes, just there's one big mistake that happens here. So, in looking at this problem, some students, they won't even show the distribution. They'll just say, this is going to be negative 7x plus 2. But this is incorrect. I'm showing this because it is incorrect, but it's a very common mistake that students make. And it's because really they're not really thinking about the distribution, which should occur. Part of this is correct, and we'll see that when we actually show the work. The thing about this problem, at least at this point, is there are parentheses, so we are expecting distribution. What are we distributing? It's actually a -1. So don't just apply the negative to the first term. It needs to actually be applied to both terms right there. So really what we end up with is one group of 7x's, which is, well, negative 7x's. But then in addition to that, we also have the -1 times the positive 2, which is -2. Okay, so that's the distribution. Again, part of that was correct. It was the -7x was the correct part. But you see, it's something so minor as just the addition sign should be a subtraction sign. But if you have the addition sign there, you're likely to end up with the incorrect answer. Although some students in the past, they've done it, but they've done it incorrectly going through it, and so they end up with the correct answer. Just be careful. But now that we've done all the distribution that we could possibly do there, now I look for any like terms that I can combine. And I see a constant of 5 and -2, which would just be really 5 minus 2, that's 3. But also I see a 3x and a -7x's. So how many x's will this be? It's 3 minus 7. You can put that in the calculator, you get -4x's. So my new equation then shows 11 equals 3 minus 4x. And yeah, we're now at the point where we can use two principles of equality to finish this off. So that is what I will do. So the first thing I want is that 3 to go away, meaning I want it to be 0. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. And I got a -11 minus 3, which is -14. That's going to equal 3 minus 3, which we zeroed out, which we planned and have done on purpose. Here's another mistake we see on problems like this one. Students drop a 4x. It's not 4x. It's a, don't forget the negative there. It's a -4x. Okay, because if you drop that as positive 4x, you're going to end up with the opposite of the answer we end up with. And if you check it, it would give you the false statement there at the top. So we're at the end. One final principle of equality should do it, and then we'll check. So that 4x, I want to become a 1x, so I will force it to be 1x by dividing it by itself, which is -4. So -14 I will also divide by -4. So let's see what we get. -14 divided by 4. My calculator is showing me 3.5, and that's okay. Some students like that decimal right there. I actually don't mind this decimal either because it's pretty. It ends and it terminates. It looks good. But some students like to show this as a fraction, which you can. Remember, on the calculator, you're gonna push the math button. It's 3 buttons down from the top left, and then you're gonna just push enter, enter, and it would show you that then your x. So yeah, math, enter, enter. I got 7/2. Now either one of these should work. I'm going to use the decimal just because it's pretty easy to type in when I check this. So I'm going to take the x, replace it with 3.5. But both x's, you have to replace all the x's with that same exact value. And at this point, yep, I'm checking for truthfulness. Now when I type this in and I push enter, I should expect to see 11, -11, right? So 5 plus 3 times 3.5 minus parentheses 7 times 3.5, and then plus 2, close parentheses, enter. I do get -11 right there. So I can see here that I do have the solution to the equation. Either one of these work. Remember, they're the same exact solution. They're just shown in different formats. One's a decimal, one's a fraction. So be careful, because in checking my work with one of the other classes, I typed the equation in incorrectly, and it showed me -18. And so you got to be careful about that. Make sure you're typing these in correctly into the calculator, so that when you get this, when you push enter, you do see the correct answer. Now, If you see that it's incorrect and you try it again, maybe it's still incorrect, you have to go back and check your work. Here, everything looks good, so we're just gonna keep it that way.